Newcastle keep getting rejected, again and again and again. But this transfer window is much more embarrassing than any other club missing out on their targets, because their Saudi owners are quite literally funding their own downfall. From star players turning them down, to paying Liverpool to sign Isak, just how bad has Newcastle's transfer window been? It all starts with Newcastle getting Champions League football for the 23-24 season, where despite a great 4-1 win against a star-studded PSG, they still fell short and finished bottom in their group. Fans were proud, but noticed one glaring issue: the lack of squad depth in their team. They could see the likes of Chelsea, Manchester City and more bulk their squad up, all while they did nothing. Fast forward to now, and they've qualified for Europe's elite competition again, and you'd think Newcastle would learn from their mistakes and sign plenty of players to really give the Champions League a go. Well, you can say they tried to, but maybe not hard enough. But before we get into the negatives, it wouldn't be fair to ignore the positives, as they have signed Anthony Elanga off an amazing season for Forest. And yes, it was expensive at 52 million, but they've weakened a rival Premier League team in the process. When compared to the fee for a backup player like Noni Madueke, it seemed like good value. He offers a lot more, especially with his electric pace. They've strengthened in goal from an ageing Pope, with Aaron Ramsdale on loan from the Saints. Is it an improvement? Yes. But was Ramsdale the best option for them? Not at all. And this is where the problems start to unfold. Newcastle are settling for worse. And it's not what fans would have imagined years ago when the public investment fund of Saudi Arabia completed their takeover. Going from Mbappe to Ramsdale is just a reflection of how fan expectations have taken a turn for the worse. Newcastle came close to signing 9 elite players, who have all rejected them. Instead of settling for a loan for an ever worse Ramsdale, they failed to get James Trafford across the line, arguably England's next number 1, who snubbed them to return to Manchester City, who have Ederson and Ortega in front of him. This isn't just a case of players rejecting them because they believe they'll get better opportunities elsewhere. These same players are moving to clubs where they won't get the same development. This could be down to players thinking rival clubs like City will make it further in the Champions League and Cups, meaning they'll get more games through deeper competition runs, or just a lack of belief in a Newcastle project that seems to be stalling. On the opposite end of the pitch, it's been a summer of strikers, with their own Isak being a top target for all. But despite their efforts to plan around his potential departure early in the window, they still couldn't get anything across the line. From signing an alternative striker like Delap, more of a less technical bully 9 than Isak, who could have played with him, he opted for Chelsea, where there's even more attackers to contend for a starting place with. Then a more like-for-like striker and long-time target João Pedro also rejected them for Chelsea and won a trophy with them immediately. Most recently, Benjamin Sesko rejected them for a Manchester United side coming off the worst season in their recent history, when he would have excelled in black and white in the Champions League. But most embarrassingly is Hugo Ekitike, a baby Isak, being heavily linked to Liverpool, a player who would have slotted in perfectly for them. But what went wrong? After the Magpies told Liverpool and FSG that Isak was not for sale, Liverpool immediately sent Frankfurt an offer for Ekitike they couldn't reject. A big slap in the face to Newcastle. But it didn't stop there, because Isak then made Newcastle aware he wanted to leave this summer to none other than Liverpool. A difficult situation already, but this is where the owners come in and actually help Liverpool's pursuit of Isak. Remember the Saudi League, the one with ridiculous amounts of money that overpay for old and bang average players? That same Saudi League, funded by the PIF, Newcastle's owners, well, they send a £50 million offer to Liverpool for Darwin Núñez, their striker, effectively funding Liverpool's move for Alexander Isak, a striker invaluable to Newcastle, all on top of after losing their replacement to the same club. Somehow matters are made even worse by the owners though. After losing out on Ekitike, funding Liverpool's move for Isak, Newcastle looked to Brentford's Wissa, a great striker, but one who comes with an inflated fee after Mbeumo, another Newcastle target, left for Manchester United. But Wissa joins the list of players who could snub Newcastle, because PIF owned Al Nassr had the cherry on top to a tragic summer for Newcastle, as they tried to sign him at around £50 million, a fee suitable for the Saudi League, but not a Premier League team battling with profit and sustainability rules like the Toon. Newcastle's transfer window is being looked by all as not only a failure, but humiliating. However, it could be getting overlooked. Newcastle is not Alexander Isak FC. They have a midfield of Tonali, Guimaraes and Joelinton, England's best young fullbacks and exciting wingers. This transfer window has been extremely busy and full of drama, from Gibbs White's twists and turns, Manchester United revitalising their attack, to Liverpool signing Galacticos. It overshadows an important part of the league last season. Liverpool hardly made any signings. They kept their squad together and won the league. There is a lot of power in keeping the bulk of your squad consistent where they can grow together. And for Newcastle, coming off the back of a League Cup win to end a 56-year trophy drought, it could be very important. Yes, depth is more important now than ever, especially for a team competing in 4 competitions. But Newcastle won't have been planning to win the Premier League or Champions League this season, so they might be playing it somewhat sensibly. If Isak leaves, he will command a staggering transfer fee, allowing Newcastle to really build ahead next season. What do you think? Has Newcastle's transfer window been as catastrophic as the media suggests? Or are they smart for keeping 90% of a trophy-winning squad? Let us know in the comments below and subscribe to Two Halves for weekly football videos. Cheers.